Olympia just released today, and I'm sure you're itching to learn how to play her. I'll be going over each of her moves and mechanics and breaking them down while showing off simple combos and tips. And later on this week, I'll be posting a full, fleshed out guide to help you master the martial artist. I normally like to wait to post those since I want to make sure that content is correct and quality, but today we'll just be going over the moveset. Before we get into her moves though, I want to show off her movement a bit, since she's not super fast, but she has moves and tools to compensate for that, which we'll get to later. What's most important to note here in my opinion is that she has by far the fastest fall speed in the game, making her really easy to combo, but also allowing her to hit fall super effectively. To get started with her moves though, we'll take a quick peek at her normals. To kick us off, her jab is a pretty quick, stubby punch. Just like every other jab in the game though, it does cancel into tilts, which is the most important part of Olympia's scrapping since all of them pop opponents up for a combo, or a setup for a tech chase scenario. Olympia's forward tilt is a two-handed punch forward that pushes opponents away. It's pretty strong, but also a bit slower than some of her other options, so I don't suggest clicking this one a ton in neutral, since it is a little slower and laggier than her other choices. But it's really great when you need to push an opponent off stage. All of her other tilts are really quick, so if you find yourself not being able to land this one a lot, I suggest trying to cancel jab into F tilt especially to make it more consistent. Speaking of consistent, Olympia's down tilt is one of the quickest options in the game, and even though it is stubby, it preps opponents for big combos by popping them up, letting you follow up with an aerial while staying close to the ground, which lets you hit fall and reset juggles and confirms. Her final tilt is her up tilt, which has a great anti-air hitbox and is pretty fast for its size. Its main hitbox and back hitbox have two different properties, with the normal hit popping them a little higher than the down tilt, which still sets up for combos, and the back hit of the hitbox sending down, and it lets you spike opponents at ledge or down onto the stage, popping them back up again. For her final normal, Olympia's dash attack is a quick, movement-based burst that sends Olympia cartwheeling into an opponent, before popping them up slightly. It has a really low knockback, which leads for great combos. Before we explore Olympia's throws, I'd just like to remind you really fast to use code LASTSTOCK in the in-game shop. It allows me to fund both my Wi-Fi weeklies and local events. Thanks as always, and let's check out those throws and pummels. Her neutral pummel is a quick rapid jab, while her special pummel crystallizes enemies. While in this crystal state, enemies aren't actionable, and their knockback is a little bit floatier. Players are kept in the crystal until they either hit the ground or leave hit stun, meaning that if you're able to keep a combo going, the opponent will stay crystallized for a little longer. Olympia's up throw is, in my opinion, her best throw to start an aerial combo, and it doesn't send opponents very far, similar to her tilts. At lower percent, it keeps them so close to her that she can force tech chases on a platform, similar to Daedalus's up throw. Her down throw also keeps opponents super close to her, and most importantly near the ground. This allows her to mix up her follow-up options based on the opponent's DI and actions after the throw, but also allows her to pop opponents up just slightly, at higher percents, to line up for more punishing aerials. Both her forward and back throw are pretty standard, but they're really great for forcing a tech chase or sending your opponent off stage at higher percents. I personally do prefer her down throw, however, at higher percents in the corner, since it can set into stronger aerials than what you would get from the throw, but it's always up to you to mix it up. Now that we've seen her throws, let's talk about her aerials. This is where Olympia really shines, since as I mentioned all throughout the video, a lot of her moves pop opponents up into the air for juggles, and her fall speed is optimized for hitfall extensions. Her neutral air is a basic 1-2 kick. The second kick pops opponents slightly up, allowing you to combo the move. But you can also hitfall the first hit if you're close to the ground, opening up your opponent for big combos. In my opinion, this is one of her best neutral options, and it's one of the better landing aerials in the game. But since she hasn't been out for very long whenever I'm recording this, I feel like you might want to check back with me during the Olympia Mastery Guide later this week and see if that idea holds up. For her back air, Olympia turns herself around and knocks opponents slightly back. This allows her to mix up her direction while also landing stick confirms on stage, or setting up for another aerial in the air. This move is kinda similar to the Nair, in the way that we won't fully know all of its util for a few days, but I'll be sure to share what me and my oomfies find as soon as I get a chance. For her forward air, Olympia smashes the space in front of her, either spiking or sending opponents pretty far out. This move is pretty fast for how strong it is, but similar to some of the other moves in her kit, it is a bit stubby. So you'll probably want to open up your opponents with other options before confirming into it. Moves like down tilt, down throw, and up tilt can all confirm into it during certain windows or when calling out bad DI or a defensive option after them, making this move a super strong choice when pressuring an opponent, especially near the ledge. For her down air, Olympia performs a pretty simple spike. Remember that Olympia's fall speed is really fast, meaning that she can drop to low recovering opponents with ease. However, this also means she'll continue to fall throughout the move, making it tricky if she overextends. This option is also pretty good to mix up your landings, especially if your opponent has been punishing you for the standard safer options. I saved my personal favorite aerial of hers for last, being her up air. Olympia's up air is a kinda big, round kick above her head, with a starting hitbox knocking opponents up and the second hitbox spiking them, similar to her up tilt. Both hitboxes have a lot of combo potential though, so be sure to be aware of when you need to hit fall or to keep juggling. To end a combo from up air, you can use up B, or call out a missed tech or tech in place with a strong attack on the ground. Speaking of strongs, let's check this out before we move on to the specials. Olympia's down strong is one of the quicker ones in the game, hitting opponents on either side of her with a blast from her gauntlets. It packs a pretty solid punch for how fast it is, so it's great for tech chasing, especially at higher percents. Her forward strong is a little slower, but hits like an atom bomb. This move's hitbox isn't huge, but it's great for stealing stocks at ledge. I find it just fast enough to call it sloppy movement, so be sure to stay alert while piloting Olympia to get big leads off of this move. Her final strong is her up strong. It scoops in front of her and hits pretty hard. You can combo into it with a handful of moves like Bear, or cover platform tech chases with it. It's pretty strong, so taking Olympia to stages with low ceilings to enable it, and her up B is always a good choice. Before we get to her specials though, I do want to mention her get up and ledge specials. Her get up special calls back to her Rivals 1 down smash, making an expanding field of gems hit around her. It's chargeable, just like Edelis's get up special. Her normal get up attack and ledge get up are pretty standard, so I'll just show them here and not go too in depth on them. But her ledge special is also a callback to her Rivals 1 side B, letting her charge it up and dash across the stage. It's not jump cancelable like it was in Rivals 1, but according to the devs it should confirm into combos on hit. Now let's get to the fun part, the specials. Her neutral B puts a crystal on the stage, and it sets up a field of light. It has a very light amount of hit stun on hit, and opponents can break it. But if they don't and are inside its radius, you can press B again to pop the crystal, crystallizing your opponents and setting them up for big combos like we talked about earlier. You can also click A and B at the same time in the crystal field to dash to it, gaining some extra movement and opening up unsuspecting opponents for a big combo. Getting back to the crystallization, a common finisher for the crystallized opponents is Olympia's up B. This move doesn't go super far and is a bit limited as a recovery, but it drags opponents up before sending them off with a super strong final hit. One sneaky tip you can always apply with this move is holding down while recovering so you don't snap to the ledge, and kick over eager opponents while they try to ledge trap you. Olympia's down B is similar to Ryu's focus in Smash Bros, letting her tank a hit and retaliate, crystallizing an opponent on hit. Tapping dodge during this move lets Olympia dash, which should really unlock her movement potential. The dash you get is pretty sizable, making up for her limited base stats and poor recovery. Her final special is the side special. Olympia leaps forward, grabbing opponents and slamming them down, popping them up ever so slightly. You can also side B opponents off stage, but they won't fall to their deaths. Instead, they'll simply be popped up slightly below the ledge. This lines up nice for a forward air though, which can be devastating this far off stage. She can also grab her crystals here, allowing her to stun enemies hit by the explosion. I really liked using the combo of the side B and crystal off stage to interrupt recoveries from unsuspecting opponents. It'll set you up really nicely to get a cool finisher deep off stage, or at least eat a few resources. That just about wraps up our Olympia moveset overview. If you have any tips or questions about Olympia, feel free to ask them or leave them down in the comments below, and I'll respond where I can, and your tip might help out another player. As I mentioned earlier, I'll have my full Olympia guide out later on this week. I'm really looking forward to getting it out for you guys, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with the character. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye for now.